Hey guys,
I'm Lally.
And I'm Sergio.
And today we are celebrating 3 years of marriage.
That's right.
Anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
And we thought it would be really cool to do a video, like a Q&A video. I asked everyone on Instagram if they would ask me a question that we can answer on this video. So let's go back. We started dating in what year? Wow.
2011.
2011.
Sorry, it's been a long time.
We started dating in 2011. We dated for 4 years, and then we were engaged for 1 year, well, 11 months.
Yeah.
And got married in July 16th of 2016. It's been quite a journey. Yes, so we just want to, before we get to the questions, I want them to know a little bit about like when we dated and how we got to the point to where we knew we wanted to get married. So there's a question that said, when did you know she was the one, or he was the one? When did you know I was the one you wanted to marry?
Well, when I laid eyes on you, I knew you were the one. And you didn't like me at first. I tell everyone this. She did not like me. But I was persistent and I persevered.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, when we met, I had a little crush on a guy from church, and that didn't last long because then you appeared, and ever since we started talking, after we met, we will always be talking on Facebook or at church, and he's always been really fun to be around, so it was not hard to want to be around him. But I didn't really I wasn't where you were like, oh, I love her. Like, you had me on your screen, a photo of me, when he didn't even tell me that you liked me, and you already had a picture on your phone.
I caught feelings quick, but it's okay. You might know.
Well, when someone looked like this, yeah, you're probably.
Right.
Just kidding. We had a really nice relationship since the beginning. You've always been, I think both of us have always been very good at communicating.
Yeah. And
sharing what we like, what we don't like, ever since we started dating. So we had a really good friendship first, before I fell in love, and I wanted to really express how I really felt. It took a while for me. So let's get into the questions so that we can explain a little bit more. You ready? Okay, so the first question that a lot of people asked is, when did you guys meet? Where did you meet? Did you guys, someone asked
I can answer that one.
If we went to the same church.
Oh, how this all worked out is that I got the call to go play drums at her church one evening, and I got dropped off. I didn't have a car. I had a job though, but I just didn't have a car at the time.
How old were you? 17?
I was like 17 probably.
When you started playing at my church?
Oh no, when I first visited.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually in the winter. I remember this yesterday. I knew what I was wearing. I knew.
That's when you know you're in love. You remember everything.
It was raining.
Sorry, I don't remember.
It was raining that night, and I remember wearing my black pea coat, and I had black jeans. I was just trying to go all blacked out. Some black Vans. I don't know why I was wearing Vans with the pea coat, but anyways, go and play, and then after church, I was like, "Hey, I'm Sergio," and I shook her hand, and then instantly I knew.
After 4 years of dating, on our 4-year, right? Mm-hmm. 4-year anniversary, he proposed to me, and here we are.
Yeah, it was. She's really smart and she figures out things quick, and so I was trying to coordinate things with her sisters to how can I propose, but without her knowing. I wanted it to be a surprise.
I've never heard this.
Really?
Yeah, I never even asked.
Well, because you're nosy. So I want to make sure that you didn't find out because you knew what I was doing.
Because I'm a planner and I just know when things. But to be honest, I wanted to. I thought it was time we had to talk about getting married and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then you said that my dad wasn't really feeling it. Like he had told you no. You know, when we like started talking about
My dad or your dad?
My dad.
Oh,
you
yeah.
said that my dad was like no. So I was like, okay, if my dad said no, then it's not time. And I'm not gonna argue with my dad.
Well, your dad is very strict. So
yeah, he's always been strict, but
now that I think about it, I'm really thankful for your dad being strict because nowadays you see the young couples, there's no respect in the relationship, there's no boundaries, there's no chaperone. And when we were dating, we needed a chaperone, so it's not like we could do anything bad, and we weren't wanting to do anything bad, but just the fact that we had a chaperone really kept us on our toes because, you know, we're not representing, you know, just us, but we're representing our chaperone as well. We're representing our families, our churches, and our leaders, and our, you know, so we wanted to make sure that we did things in the right way. So thank you, hermano Burgos, for being so strict.
And it was hard. I mean, we were young. But we're not doing anything bad. We're just hanging out. We're just gonna go eat
to the mall.
Go to the mall. And my dad was like,
go to Marshall's.
Nope. No, we've always loved going to Marshall's.
Still do.
But yeah, that's just kind of a little bit about like when we started dating and stuff.
So I proposed to her at the Rose Garden in San Jose, California.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful place. So if you want to Google it, San Jose Rose Garden. It's awesome. So when we get there, we were supposed to take anniversary photos.
Because we do it every year since we started dating.
Right.
To now.
She thought we were there for a photo shoot, and we're all like, you know, just posing. And I found this really nice arch, and I was like, let's take a picture here. And I realized this was like the perfect moment to do it. So I pulled the ring, got on one knee, and she was all in tears. And
yeah,
it's pretty crazy how it all happened.
Because I wanted it to happen. I honestly, honest to God, thought this is not gonna happen for me yet because my dad said no. So let's talk about like when did we know? Like, okay, this is the person I want to marry. It took a while for me to realize that I was happy, and I was really scared to be like commit myself to that person. Because I was scared of getting hurt, like many of us, you know, go through. And I remember how he was always so nice. To this day, he's like really nice. He's really kind. And it was just always that thing in the back of my head, like there's no way this guy is this nice. Like there's just no way. There's no guys this nice. It was hard for me to find something wrong with you. And I was just like, there's just no way, because I had been in a relationship where this guy was a jerk and had no respect for people, no respect for me. And going from that to this, it was like, it's too good to be true. And it took me like a good year to really say, like, I love you. A pastor came over to my parents' house, and it was me and my parents in the kitchen. We were talking, and then you came.
Yeah.
And he was just looking at us for like a whole hour, just looking at us talk, and then he asked if he could pray for us. So he did, and he told us some things that God, you know, had revealed to him about our future. And then he said, Lally, if you have been questioning God, and if you've been asking him if this is the right person for you, that the person you're gonna marry, stop questioning God, because he's the one. Straight up with those words. And I mean, that for me, I was just like, okay, I need to stop closing that door, like that blessing, and really allowing God to bring us together, closer together, and to really allow myself to fall in love with this person. And after that, everything changed. Like my perspective, the way I saw things, the way that I treated you a little bit because of my past relationship. I had just, I didn't know how to treat someone well because I didn't have that. So it was hard for me. So after that moment, everything changed, and I think we got a lot stronger, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
What is something you would have wished to know before marriage?
It takes commitment, it takes dedication, it takes communication, and something that I think I learned is how to be a better communicator, because you know, when you're single, you don't know, you know, you're like, who do I need to communicate with, right?
Yeah.
So when you have that partner that you're married to now, things change, and
It's like another level.
yeah, it's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
Being single to being engaged, it's like engagement's like cool because like, okay, we're gonna prep you for the run and the marathon, but now you're in the marathon, you can't stop and turn back. It's going forward. So I think communicating was one of the big things that I didn't know how to do, but now we know how to do.
Yeah, I think we've always been good at communicating, like I mentioned, but it wasn't like, when you're dating, there's a lot of things that you don't have to tell him or tell her, you know. But when you're married, it's like a deeper relationship where like you really have to talk about talk things out, or else it can damage your marriage really bad. And it's just like another level of commitment. And for us, we knew that it was going to be another level, but we didn't know how big of a commitment and communication we had to put into it until you're in that position.
Right.
So I think I wished I knew a little bit more about how to handle certain situations, but we pretty much figured things out ourselves. How do you solve your problems or disagreements?
Well, it's easy. Communicate, pray about it, and sometimes when you have a disagreement, you don't gotta like solve it right then and there. Sometimes you need to let the dust settle and leave it alone.
Sometimes, yeah.
And then come back to it, and so you can, because when there's disagreements, sometimes you're getting heated, your blood's boiling, and you just want to explode. But it's not always like that. You gotta like just calm down, see the bigger picture, and I think that's one thing that we specialize in, because man, I used to get really angry, and we used to like not fight or anything like that, but we would just like get real frustrated.
Yeah.
And now we just like take a second, or we just sometimes squash it right then and there.
Yeah,
so.
I think because it's not about just like your feelings anymore. You have to take the other person's feelings into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And when we've always been very independent people, probably our whole lives.
Yeah.
Just independent. And when you have to depend on someone else, or you have to wait until that person is catching up, like you have to like meet that person where they are. You're not, both of us are not always going to be up here or down here. Like, you know, we go at different pace.
Yeah.
Help each other out. Exactly. So I think that, because sometimes you hurt my feelings and you don't even think you're hurting my feelings, and I'm like, you know, or the other way around.
Vice versa. Yeah.
So I think that's really important.
And remember, I always tell Lally this, and I always will say it. It's me and you versus the world. So your mama and your daddy ain't gonna be there for you. Your friends and family ain't gonna be there for you. Your pastor won't be there for you. Your church won't be there for you. Only God will be there for you. And it's God in the center of our relationship, and that's all that we have.
Yeah, because, like, of course, like our family, parents, friends can be there for you. But what he means is there's certain situations where it's just between us, and we just have to run to each other and to God only. Like, no one else is gonna know how to solve this problem. We have to figure it out. And I think it's important to surround yourself with people that are not always where you are, but they've been there and they've grown from it. Because when you hang out with people that are more immature or in the same situation, you're just gonna discuss it with each other, and then it's gonna make it bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're like, yeah, me too, yeah, that's true. And I think it's important to be surrounded by people that have been there, so that when you're there, when you're stuck in a certain situation, they lift you up and they help you.
One thing I will say is not everyone needs to know your business.
No.
So
yeah.
Your marriage, your finances, no one needs to know that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't always got to tell people your problems, because then your problem becomes someone else's problem, and then that problem spreads to other problems.
Yeah.
So if you have a problem in your marriage, you know, talk about it, get some counsel, and talk to God and have Him guide you, because you know, your business, your privacy is very important in a marriage.
Yeah, like your home, your marriage, you have to take that so serious. I think what was the biggest thing someone asked that you both had to adapt to, I think one of the biggest things we had to adapt to was we've always been people that have lots of friends, and we just love people. We love to be surrounded and by a lot of people and friends, and you know, I think one of the hardest things that we had to adapt to was to prioritize our space and how important it was to put us before anything else and anyone else. When we got married, it wasn't like, yeah, we would hang out with friends and stuff, but we just had to learn to make time for ourselves and building like our own hobbies, our own life, our own lifestyle, creating that for ourselves, because no one else is going to do that for you, and you really have to put each other before anyone else. And I think it was really hard for me to let go of a lot of things that I didn't need around myself, around us, in our home. That's another one. What you bring into your home, who you bring into your home, has a big impact. If you are not mentally prepared, if you've not prayed up, if you're not focused, it can damage our relationship, because every person that comes into your home brings something with them, and it's not always good. So we just had to make those decisions of who's gonna come in, and of course our doors are always open for anyone that needs us. But we are better at picking and choosing who we're going to surround ourselves with and who we're bringing into our sanctuary, because it's something we build and a home that we pray for. We always pray that there's peace, that everyone that comes in here feels the presence of God, and they feel peace, and they're happy, and they feel comfortable. And one person and something that they bring with them can damage that. Something that you learned about each other after living together that was surprising.
Number one,
I know what's coming.
You don't like washing dishes.
I hate washing dishes.
Well, that's okay.
He was not prepared for that.
And that's okay. I got the dishwasher.
For me, Sergio is very organized. You're too organized in this. But what about your shoes? Like, so he comes in, takes his shoes off, leaves his backpack, whatever he has, and leaves it right by the door. That's like the messy stuff that you do, or leaving, like when you take something out, you just leave it.
Yeah.
But then the kitchen has to be spotless, or he gets so anxious when the kitchen has a little crumb. Like sometimes he would clean after me, and I'll be like, what is your favorite part of being married?
Favorite part of being married is having someone that loves me for who I am. I could say this all day long, but there's nothing like coming home to your wife.
Yeah.
And, you know, being single, you won't get this, but when you're married, and God gave you that special person for your life to help you succeed in this life, there's nothing better than coming home knowing that, you know, your best friend is there waiting for you.
Having someone to share all of your dreams, all of your hopes, everything that goes in your head, just share them with someone and have that person there to support you, to guide you, to help you, to pray with you and for you. I think that's just amazing.
All-time favorite thing to do together.
We do have
There's three.
Three things we love to do together. One is we love to cook together.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love shopping together. It's fun.
Like to watch cooking shows.
Yeah.
Someone asked, do you guys plan on buying a home? And if yes, when?
Of course, when God says, you know, when God gives us the green light, then that's when it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want to buy a house, but like, are we ready?
Is right.
So
God's timing.
But we're definitely talking about it a lot more than before because we are business owners. Living in an apartment, it's difficult. So the question that most people asked was, when are you guys having kids?
Yeah.
I think we literally just started talking about kids and names and planning like barely like a couple months ago.
No,
I don't feel 100% ready.
No one will be ready for kids.
Yeah, but I'm just not as scared of. Okay, like it's coming, of course. Like God willing, soon, maybe within a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
We've never said this out loud. Oh my gosh.
You heard it first, YouTube.
Yeah, we've never said this, but if it's God's will for our lives within that time frame, then that's what's going to happen. Okay guys, so this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you enjoyed getting to know us a little bit more. If you would like more videos like this, leave a comment down below. Let us know if there's anything that you learned in this video or that you enjoyed listening to. Also let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos, like and share. Thank you. God bless you.
Bye everybody.